Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Let's Go Places, a show that we've been airing now for 12 years, a little bit more than 12 years, sponsored by Team Toyota of Langhorne, Paul Muller, the owner of this beautiful showroom here where we do our show at 746 East Lincoln Highway, right here in the heart of Langhorne, Pennsylvania, Bucks County. Proud to state that because it's a beautiful region, a beautiful area to live. And I'm really excited today. We have some special guests today to talk about some notable points of interest. The Director of Public Safety for Bensalem, Mr. Bill McVey is here. Bill, thanks for joining us today. It's going to be a great show. And Tom Durkin, the retired Deputy Chief of the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Thank you, Tom.
happy you're here. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. We're going to talk a lot about the history in Bensalem. As Bill, when he rose to the rank of Director of Public Safety, not only the police but the fire, a lot of responsibility there, and the residents should be very proud and happy and feel very secure that it's under control and managed by a real professional in Bill McVey. We're going to talk a lot about the history of the Southeastern Police Chiefs Association. A lot of good topics, Charlie.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah, it is. It's always exciting. And let's get right down to, aside from thanking Paul Muller for all of his altruistic efforts and donations for this show, before we get started, always remember that we have two other shows behind the badge with our good friend who was the former Director of Public Safety, Fred Harron. Fred is not here today, but I'm sure he's out there governing effectively throughout the county of Bucks. And also Justice for All that I began with Matt Weintraub several years ago. Great show. If you think Dateline and 60 Minutes are good, well, you would have listened to some of our shows when we bring Jennifer Shorn in, the district attorney. It's just incredible the the stories are told, the revelations that we can come out with, as Bill can tell you, as the chief of police. Mr. Joe Gall just arrived. Joe, welcome to the show. But these shows are just your jaw drops. The old cold cases where some of our investigators, Jennifer will bring some of the investigators in, and they're just great shows. They're phenomenal. But today we're going to talk a little bit about Bensalem Township. And Bill, once again, welcome. Thanks for joining us on the show. You look like, as I said, you just jumped out of a Gentleman Quarterly magazine.
Yeah.
But
It's not fair.
he has the face for TV. Not I have the face for radio. But Bill has the presence and the dynamic personality. Once again, Bill, thanks for joining. Begin with telling us how you began or what drove you to becoming a police officer.
Well, first, thank you, Tom, for having me today. It's obviously a pleasure to be here with one of my dear friends and mentors, Tom Durkin, who's brought me along very far with the Pennsylvania Chiefs of Police for Southern Pennsylvania. But to that question, how I started, I was 21 years old. I was attending Millersville University. I was injured. I was a football player, got injured, couldn't continue my career, and I wanted to be a police officer. And people I knew that were a little bit older than me said, you need to start taking tests right away. So I took about 4 or 5 tests, and one of them was Bensalem Township. And I always wanted to be a big city cop in Philadelphia, but my parents had moved out, and I didn't want to put that lie on my application that I still live there. And so I opted not to take that test and went with the state police in Bensalem, and Bensalem called first. And I was lucky. I never looked back. They took a chance on me. I'm fortunate. Mayor Joe DiGirolamo was there to swear me in at 21 years old, and then 24 or 5 years later, he swore me in as the Director of Public Safety, with a few stops in between. So
That's steps along the way there, right? Elevations.
Steps through Sergeant, Detective Sergeant, Lieutenant, Deputy Chief, and then Director of Public Safety. So it's been a great journey for 26 years. I'm very, very fortunate to work with a tremendous staff of police officers. Our men and women do a tremendous job. We have great leadership in our elected officials, our council, and you know Mayor Joe DiGirolamo.
Very well.
At times, I think he is a police officer.
Iron Joe.
He stands for law and order, and the main priority he gives me is keep our residents and business people and visitors safe. And he allows me to do the job I have to do. Our council allows me and our staff to do the job we have to do. And I got a tremendous command staff, leadership team, and great people there that do a great job for our township. And you had asked about the Director of Public Safety position.
Yes.
So in this role, you function as the Chief of Police, but you have the additional responsibility of your fire services in the township, volunteer and career, and also the providing services of EMS.
An incredible undertaking.
It is. But it makes sense, and it's worked in Bensalem for over 30 years. I'm the 4th Director of Public Safety. So it has worked. We have a great foundation that started with Frank Friel, Steve Moran, Fred Harron, and now me.
And now you, for a long time.
Yeah,
God willing.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yes.
That is the plan.
That's the plan, Bill.
That's the plan, and I got to keep the township safe, and that's how I'm judged. So we've had tremendous results the last few years. Crime is down in Bensalem. Some crime is up, as we've seen in the region with retail theft and some, fleeing and eluding and other lawlessness type crimes.
Sure.
But our major Part 1 crimes are down, and I'm very proud of that, and our residents should be proud of our police officers for being able to do that in an environment where many police officers can't do that type of job anymore. We're fortunate to be able to do that, and my pledge is to keep doing that while keeping our first responders, police, fire, and EMS safe.
And the support that you receive from the city or from the township administration, it's that there goes a long way, because you do have the capability to do police work effectively.
I can't overstate that enough. We would not be able to do the job we do without a mayor leading us the way he does, and without a council to give us the tools and the budget that we have. And we often say, people talk about we border the city of Philadelphia, and that's brought a slew of problems over the past few years. We're hopeful for change. Commissioner Bethel and the new mayor in Philadelphia are doing a very good job from what I see.
Yes.
And they've actually reached out to come and work with us, which is a change, which is a significant change. And what we deal with is some of the bleed over of lack of enforcement in the past years. But we've made it very clear to our staff that that's not us.
No.
People come to Bensalem, they're going to know there's a police car there waiting if they're a criminal. Get off at 95, Route 1, the Turnpike. We want them to see a visible police officer.
Absolutely.
Interdicting crimes, preventing crimes,
yes,
and deterring crimes. So we focus very heavily on our visibility, our proactiveness in our policingness, and then we embrace our community as much as we can through engagements like our PAL program and other programs. So it's a holistic approach, but the main point of that is that the proactiveness of the police officer to deter would-be criminals from victimizing people in our township.
Absolutely. The buck stops here in Bucks County. You come into our area, and you're going to be dealt with professionally and effectively with a stern force that we don't want any crime here. I mean, obviously, as Bill had pointed out, let's talk about the traffic of people that come in here daily. To be able to keep effectively crime down and have so many people coming through Bensalem Township. Just take, in fact, all the people that are coming in and out of Parks Casino, for example.
It's a great point. We have about 67,000 residents by the census, but we have a daytime population of over 250,000.
Wow.
And
that's staggering.
It is, and 21 square miles is our township, but when you think about the number of vehicles that go along Street Road in particular, and in our township, we have 26 stationary license plate readers in our town. And on a daily or weekly basis, they're capturing around 900,000 vehicle reads. And of that, 40,000 are hits that are reported to our police officers.
That's incredible.
So think of that number, 900,000 vehicles traveling through one community that are captured by these 26. There's more, but this is what we've captured.
Sure.
And we're using these technologies to identify people who are uninsured, suspended licenses, have warrants, are criminals that are outstanding. And it's a great tool for us that has helped us keep our community safer and enforce more traffic laws, because it's very important that we're out there to prevent these accidents and people driving like nuts, as you see on Street
Oh, my
Road,
God.
Route 1.
It's horrible.
We have to do our best to not only stop crime but keep the roadways safe. It's part of our job.
Yes.
And we're taking that very seriously, and the technologies that we're using are helping us greatly nowadays. But that number, when you bring that up, is a number that always catches my attention. 900,000 vehicles on a weekly basis that we're capturing.
Yes, absolutely. And let's talk about some of the insidious regions. Well, maybe they're not as much now because of the way you're counteracting with the drug enforcement. There's a lot of areas up along the boulevard. I call it the boulevard still. U.S. Route 1 Boulevard. You can tell I'm an old fart. But, yeah, it's just you hear all the crime that's being committed. It's not here in the inhabitants of Bucks County, in Bensalem, but it's the drugs that are coming in different regions using the avenues 95 and the Turnpike. But your enforcement is right on, spot on with that too. If you want to cover a little bit of that, Bill.
So I guess I'm an old guy too, because it's still the boulevard to me growing up in the city. That's what we all call it. But yes, that's an area of concern for us. It's a high crime area in Bensalem. It has been for quite some time, and a lot of it is due to some of the hotels and motels that are along that corridor. Our mayor has taken active steps to change that environment with some redevelopment plans that are
great.
That are it's music to everyone's ears.
Yes, it is.
Because what we have seen is a lot of the crime that spreads out throughout Bensalem in particular is people coming, they're transient, and they're staying in our motels.
That's what I was going to say. That it's, a lot of your crimes bleed in. They come in and leave.
Yes.
Especially the looting and all that other kind of stuff. It's tough.
Yeah,
it's
so
tough.
in that area, something that we do, and we have a working relationship with our motels and hotels, where we go in and check the registries. We go in and run them for warrants, see if someone's in there that has a criminal warrant. We do a lot of interdiction work up there with our federal partners as well, DEA,
Sure.
FBI,
Yes.
ATF. But it's a good program. We work with our district attorney's office, so we focus a lot of our attention in that area. We actually specifically got grant money from Casey Tomlinson's office to focus on that corridor through technologies and what I like to call traditional policing, having police cars out there, having plainclothes details out there to stop these criminals and remove them before that they can start victimizing our residents.
And thank God for the support, financial support we received from not only the township with Joe DiGirolamo, I call him Iron Joe, and also
he will like that name.
Well, he will like it, won't he? You know,
we
when
all
he was
call him
elected the second time, and it was close there.
Okay.
I was the correspondent for WBCB, and I was at the headquarters there, Bensalem Township, and I wanted to come in and interview him. Oh no, you can't talk to Joe right now. It's pretty tense. Well, when it was discovered that he won the election, I wasn't prepared. I was talking to someone, and he came walking over to me and picked me up with a bear hug. I heard a couple of bones crush. I mean, he's so strong. You don't realize it. For 86 now, 87.
Yeah, he's still a farm boy at heart. He's got some strength.
Yes. And he went to North Catholic.
He did, yes.
For an education. Because there were no other schools.
We won't hold that against him.
No, we won't. We'll forgive him for that.
I don't know if him and Mr. Durkin were there at the same time, but probably pretty close.
Pretty close. Yeah, we're better. Joe was a couple of years ahead of me.
Yeah, there you go.
But when we get together every once in a while, we always chat about the North Catholic days. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The roles that your chiefs, that you're the chief, but our sergeants and lieutenants play a very significant role in keeping everything in order, down to your police officers, the accreditation, the knowledge that they receive, and the experience that they have. Education is a big thing.
Yes, it's a very big thing, and you mentioned some key positions there of our command staff, our lieutenants, and our sergeant rank. They do a fantastic job, and education with them, and it started under Steve Moran and Fred Harron, is making sure all of our first-line supervisors get the appropriate training and education.
Wow.
Send them to Northwestern. Yeah, send them to the FBI Academy. Send them to PERF, because you need that nowadays, and you need to have that level of education and partnerships, the connections that they make at these schools, and the resources that they can bring back to the township, and it also then reduces your liability as a township.
Absolutely.
And it makes it more effective as a police department. So we are committed to educating all of our employees. We have a Lieutenant, Bob Bush, who's assigned just for training.
Yes.
He has a budget just for training, and we say we'll send you anywhere as long as we can justify what you can bring back to this township.
And the effectiveness.
And the effectiveness of that. And we see it. We see it in our results, and we see it in the way our officers conduct themselves on a daily basis, the reduced use of forces that they're able to communicate and de-escalate now, and also resolve issues without using force.
Absolutely.
So it's something that we are committed to, and you mentioned accreditation, that ties right into that.
It really does. You're listening to Public Safety Director in Bensalem, Bill McVey. We're going to take a quick pause. Charlie, you're saying too much. You got to slow down a little bit.
I'm trying to
Just
keep
take
quiet.
it easy today, all right? But yeah, we'll be right back. An exciting show here. Lots more of good information for all of you out there. WBCB 1490 and 107.3 on the dial, right, Bray? Don't go anywhere. We'll return after a few moments with our sponsors.
It's a new year at Team Toyota, and we're still here for you. With new Toyota models arriving weekly with no markups above MSRP. And with selection, with over 200 certified Toyotas and used cars for every budget, you can drive one home today. And with service, check out our seasonal specials that will save you time and money. So happy New Year, we're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video stream live the 4th Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Are you a parrot head? Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny-O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones Radio Experience, right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
We're back here with Let's Go Places and our Public Safety Director, our guest, and good friend Bill McVey. We're covering a lot of important factors in Bensalem that's governed effectively by Bill. And we're going to get right back in. We're going to talk a little bit with our retired Deputy Chief, Tom Durkin, who's headed back to the table, and Joe Gall with Public Safety Blue Alert. I know that Bill will have a few comments about what he has already learned about this product and what is just going to be incredible as far as, most importantly, saving lives. Right, Charlie?
Could have saved somebody already if we had it out there.
Yeah, well, that's the concern, because we want to have, that company's in the process of getting some seed money. There's some grants that are being put together, and hopefully we'll have this product implanted in all of our police vehicles, because if it's going to help save lives, right, Bill? That's the important thing.
Yeah, if, any program that can save a police officer or first responder's life is obviously invaluable.
Yeah.
Something we're all interested in, and we just sold it. Unfortunately, an NYPD officer was killed on a traffic stop.
Jeez.
I just read it, that multiple commands to get out of the car, show their hands, get out of the car, were refused prior to him being shot. And we see this since COVID and since civil unrest. We see it in our own departments around here regionally, where our officers lawfully stop a car, lawfully give commands which people don't think they have to listen to anymore. And we had one recent incident with a stolen car with an individual for up to 4 or 5 minutes refusing to put the window down. And that whole time, an officer's life is at risk. And we did things differently years ago in situations like that we no longer can do. But you try to be professional, but at what length do we go until you keep those officers at risk?
Yes.
How long, an officer at that windshield is a threat to him, to the officer. So when people don't comply and the more time we give them in the move about in their car, it makes it more dangerous. So the system that you're talking about is something that can alert them to other threats, but there's constant threats facing our police officers every single day, and we need the legislators to understand that and put the law behind them and educate some of these people who drive and people that the police officer has a right to remove you from a vehicle, to stop you, and you lawfully have to obey those commands.
Absolutely.
And when they don't, they put themselves and the officer at risk.
In harm's way, as well as the public.
Yes.
You know, often people don't realize it's society. If gunshots are sporadically flying in the air, or the bullets are flying in the air, it's not just targeted for a police officer, but it could stray off and hurt someone else or more people.
Sure, anytime a gun is fired, anyone's at risk, and anyone could become a victim, but we need to do everything we can to prevent those incidents. And
Yes.
we need people to understand that when you're stopped, you need to comply. And, you know, we had over an 80% increase last year in fleeing and eluding cases. People don't want to listen anymore. There's a significant increase in stolen vehicles in the region, and there's a significant increase in police pursuits, where we're cutting down those pursuits because of the liability of hurting someone innocent on the street. But these criminals are just running around with impunity, and they don't fear there's no fear, and it really puts the police but the public at risk when these actions are tolerated. So we have to stop it and find other ways to combat this, but it's a very dangerous situation for police officers nowadays on the street, and we need them to know that we have their back and we support them, and we applaud the job they do out there every day.
Absolutely. Talking about the Safety Blue Alert more with Joe Gall, a brief introduction with Joe. He's no stranger to Bucks County. He's had a business for more than 35 years with Regional Appraisals as the president there. He was also an instructor in real estate, from what I understand, Joe.
Penn State University in Bucks County.
In Bucks County, yeah. And he's got a great background, but what I love about Joe, I've known him for, more than 30 years, is the fact that he has anguished and continues to anguish over the loss of life, safety and that's why he put this Safety Blue Alert program together and stayed with it. God bless him. And boy, it caught my interest when he approached me. John McNesby, who is now the past president of the FOP, has sat in with us and had a lot of interesting questions about this product. He's a full supporter of it, as you are, Bill. What you have seen so far, you'll be the first test case for us actually trying these out in the Bensalem region. I know Joe Bartarilla is all excited about it, and John McNesby with Philadelphia. But as you know, Joe, so many lives that we can save the sooner that we can get this implanted.
Yeah, Tom, it started out with the police ambushes and defund the police. Such a ridiculous program.
Yeah.
And I started to interview officers in different districts, actually 5 of them throughout Bucks County and Philadelphia. And I said, so you're on the night shift, or you're parked in a secluded area. Who's coming towards your vehicle? And they would say, well, we're doing paperwork. We really don't. One officer said, I back towards the woods, and nobody's coming behind me. Another officer said, I was sitting there, somebody knocks on my window and said, where's Costco? And I started to look into it and about this detection to the cop. Now, as you know, with Toyota and other vehicles, you go out of the lane, it beeps, and you back up, beep, 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 beep.
Sure, cross traffic alert, all those devices.
So the goal was to create a safety net that goes out, further, that we have an opportunity to see what's happening to the vehicle.
Sure.
So I developed a team of 2 engineers. I call them the Geek Squad. They talk way above
my level as well.
Way
no
above our
question
technology level.
Yes.
And they're talking about, we can do this and we can create this algorithm, and so that's where we are. So then I once again, as you know, setting up a new venture, you have to establish the team. We have the engineers, the patent attorney, the corporate attorney, the bank, the lender. But I talked to the corporate attorney when they start out doing an initial search, prior art. has somebody done this before? Is this system out there?
Sure.
And it came back where no, it really wasn't. And then with the speaking with my engineers, creating an algorithm that, and with the new technology, with the updated camera system, that new technology.
Sure.
These cameras, well, now there's a system that we're utilizing once we get the product actually going that goes out 900 feet, goes out 3 football fields. Now, we may not need that far for the officer, but 100 yards gives them notice of detection. And the
And that's a 360-degree
yeah,
covering.
And the one thing that they've developed, it goes through all the atmospheric conditions.
Yeah, it can penetrate through any type of
Yeah,
atmosphere.
the hail, wind, snow,
Fogs, yeah.
Yeah, so that's our next step with the production level.
Right,
So,
and there'll be more information that will follow, but you're going to hear more about Safety Blue Alert, that's for sure,
yeah.
with the support. And as Bill indicated when you first seen it, like, why hasn't this been created long before? But
Yeah, it's that was my reaction because we have seen over the years many police officers who were ambushed.
Yeah.
There's recent ones in Philadelphia from a few years back where you get split seconds to react. So
Yes.
you get a minute or you get 30, 45 seconds, saves your life.
you better believe it.
And we want our police officers on the street. You know, they all have computers now
Sure.
in the suburban towns. They write their reports often in the car, so they're still out there. They can respond. They're not going back to headquarters. So if their head's looking at the computer screen, it's not looking behind them or around them. So having something that alerts them,
Yes,
it gives them the ability to quickly look and scan the environment.
exactly.
And it
then
could save their life.
It could save their life, exactly.
Right.
And then simultaneously, another partner, our radio dispatcher, will have a way for it to signal them as well as the officer in the car. So
Yeah.
there's more alert that way, so that everyone's aware of what's going
I
on.
mean, the ultimate design would be when the car's parked, Safety Blue Alert, the icon would be on the computer screen, would activate the system, so it's automatically in play.
Yes, exactly.
It's not going to work going down Broad Street in
No.
Philadelphia,
No. But it's
but
good. It will play
Yeah.
a significant role in saving lives.
Yeah.
That's what's most.
the
That's
one
what's
that,
most
that
important.
really tugs at your heartstrings is Officer Holly,
Yeah.
Baltimore PD, African American on the force 4 years with 4 children. Once again, got a cup of coffee, parked in a secluded area. These 2 thugs came up, shot 11 bullets into the car.
Cold blood.
Yeah, she had no chance.
No chance whatsoever.
Passed away 3 days later. So I mean, that one just
Yeah,
just
that really.
hits you.
Sure.
Just hits
It
you.
raises the hair on your back. Right,
Totally
Bill?
senseless.
Yeah,
No,
yes.
no reason for
No
it.
reason.
And,
No reason.
this
Yeah.
technology, if it could have prevented that, then we need to look into this really hard and
Yes.
equip our officers with that.
Absolutely, Bill. Thank
Exactly.
you for that. Tom,
The
we're
one
going to
thing,
talk to you.
Well, Bill, the one thing Bill was saying about safety in Bucks County, I'm up in Warrington, and there was a carjacking right on 611 Bristol. The judge sentenced him to 20 years
Good.
for carjacking.
That's what
Good
we
for
want to hear.
him.
Tremendous.
We
Yeah.
need more judges.
That's one in a
Right, Bill?
million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She,
Well,
she said, "You're not coming to," like Bill said, "You're not coming to Bucks County."
that's right.
And
Yeah, keep
exactly.
right.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, you got it, Joey. So as we're listening to Bill and covering some good aspects, notable points of interest about police work, the effectiveness of saving lives, Tommy Durkin, who's a retired deputy chief of the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office, and many years of experience, as Bill pointed out and gave you accolades as to how you gave him a lot of good
It's
advice.
my second son.
That's your second son,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly. But we're going to start with a brief introduction of you, and then we're going to take a quick pause for our sponsors again and get right back to you.
Where do you want me to start?
Let's start with your interest in the police department, where you really weren't interested.
Yeah,
with police work
I
in the
told you
beginning.
this story, and it's kind of funny. It was funny to me. It wasn't funny to the other fellow that was a friend of mine. But I graduated from North Catholic in '61. And
We won't hold that against you, though.
Wow.
and got a job at Kraft Foods. I was like the mail clerk part-time. And when I graduated, they offered me a job to teach me how to be a bookkeeper. So I said, I don't have anything else. So I took the job. And after a few years, a friend of mine said he was going to go take the test for the police department down at the University of Penn, and would I mind going with him? And I said, well, Saturday and Friday night we got a party, and I said, I don't know. He said, yeah, I'll come and get you. So eventually he did come and get me, and I was kind of under the weather, let's say, and but I did go down with him. So when you go down there, you could sign up right there. He said, sign up, and we'll take it together and all that. So we did. And about 3 weeks later, I get a card that I had passed. And I said, I don't know how I passed. I didn't even remember seeing the words on the sheet. And he flunked.
Oh, boy.
And I felt bad
ouch.
because I wasn't really interested. He was. And here again, then I get a letter to go to the academy in class 173. And then, started from there.
Started from there, and
and
thus your career.
Second district, the old lazy deuce, as they called it, because there was
Harvest
hardly any
Athletic.
crime there.
No. Now it's dangerous.
Now you better have a gun on your hand.
Yeah, you better.
And your belt. But then it was a very quiet middle class area of the city. And then I went to community relations, went to the wound up in juvenile aid division, then got promoted to sergeant, then in the transit unit. Then they accepted wasn't covering that. It was all Philadelphia Police.
Sure.
Then made lieutenant, back to juvenile aid division, which I didn't like. But Joe O'Neill, I worked for Joe when he was an inspector in juvenile aid. And then he had, through the ranks, he became the commissioner, and I was lieutenant. So I think he put me back to pay back. It's payback.
Payback
all the heartaches I
Not
gave him,
Joe.
Not Joe. That wouldn't happen.
And then I went to, over Rendell had became elected as a DA, and a friend of mine said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm in juvenile aid." He said, "How do you like it?" I said, "I hate it. I want to get out of here." So he said, "Well, let me talk to Rendell," and he did, and they had an opening for lieutenant. So I went over there, and of course I went to the juvenile division. I said, "Oh, here I go."
Lo and behold.
I said, "I don't think I'm going to take it." And the guy said, "Well, listen, it's study day work, weekends off."
Boy, did
And
that
I
change
said-
your mind.
I said, "I'll take it." I made captain and then deputy chief, and then retired and went to Cigna for a couple years, Amtrak Police, and the Attorney General's office. And I wound up with Cody Systems as their business development director.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
C'est la vie. And
C'est
I
la vie, right?
retired. Yeah, I retired.
What a role of responsibilities. We're
And
going to
I've
take a
been-
quick pause.
One thing I want to say before you go is, I got about 50 years in with the Southeast Police Chiefs, and 50 years, I think, now with the Mental Health Association. But
That makes you 106.
yeah, I know. But after the break,
How do
maybe
you
we
tell
can-
the difference?
After the break, maybe we can talk a little bit about Southeastern Chiefs.
That's
and,
boy, you're leading right into
right
what
into
I was
it.
thinking.
Okay. Well, thank you
No
very
question
much.
about it. You and Bill, and we'll talk
Yeah,
a lot
we'll
about,
talk about that.
the good purposes of it, covering 5 regions, I believe, and
5 counties.
5 counties
Yes.
in the
5
state
counties,
of Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll talk a lot
Bucks,
about that.
Montgomery, Delaware, Chester, and Philadelphia.
Wow, that's great. You knew that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it because I would have had to look at my notes. We'll return after a few words from our sponsor. As you can see, as you can hear, it's a great show here with Let's Go Places, right here in the showroom at 746 East Lincoln Highway. Team Toyota. Don't go anywhere. We have lots more to share with you.
It's a new year at Team Toyota, and we're still here for you. With new Toyota models arriving weekly with no markups above MSRP. And with selection. With over 200 certified Toyotas and used cars for every budget, you can drive one home today. And with service. Check out our seasonal specials that will save you time and money. So Happy New Year. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
Are you a parrot head? Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny-O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
Opinions matter, and so does yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join us every Monday at 1 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 AM WBCB. Opinions Matter is now live streamed at WBCB1490.com. We want to hear from you because your opinion does matter.
Welcome back to Let's Go Places here on WBCB 1490 and 107.3 FM on the dial here at our beautiful showroom, new car showroom in the heart of Langhorne, 746 East Lincoln Highway. And we're here with Public Safety Director Bill McVey, good friend, and keeps everything nice and safe and secure with his force, with the whole administration in Bensalem, a great place to live. Let's get back to our Deputy Chief, retired Deputy Chief, Tommy Durkin. Tom, go ahead, buddy. Let's talk about...
Yeah, we want to talk a little bit about the Police Chiefs Association of Southeastern Pennsylvania. We've been in existence, I guess, almost 70 years. I had him with
1934.
1934.
There you go.
You weren't a member then, Tom.
No, I got 50 years on. I don't go back that far.
Charlie, you were in grammar school then, right?
Yes, second grade.
Yeah. Second grade.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, we graduated the same year, but he went to Frankfurt and I went to North Capital.
Yeah, rivals.
Rivals,
yeah.
Oh, my God. Frankfurt, they were big sports high schools
big
there.
football. They
Yeah,
were
we had a great
our
program.
rival.
Oops, we had a
But
great.
we always beat them.
Yeah. We didn't have to mention that.
I'm glad Joe Saffron isn't here on the show because he sits in with us a lot. He was, I think, Massbaum.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
played
okay.
football for Massbaum.
I didn't know
Yeah,
Did Massbaum have a football?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They had
boy.
a king. They had a king.
Wow. Yeah, they did at one
That was
time.
probably
Joe,
the only good part about the
Joe, I hope you're not listening.
Yeah, he's out in the ocean on a cruise.
He is, yeah. He's
Good for him.
far away.
Yeah, but our association, Bill's our president this year, and
Congratulations,
he's
Bill.
just
Thank you very
doing
much.
a super job for the association. And want to mention a few things. We just had our annual assembly, as you know. You were there.
Yes.
Charlie was there.
Yep.
We have that every year, and we always welcome anybody that wants to come. Our big event, or I guess fundraiser, if you want to call it that, is our golf outing. And that will be probably in the first week or so of October at the Northampton Country Club. So we will hopefully get support from our listeners, and invite anybody that likes golf to come out and support us. And besides that, we have our meetings, 8 meetings a year at P&P Caterers on Southampton Road, and everybody is welcome. And if you're not a member and you want to be a member, you're going to be a member. Charlie's going to be a member.
I'm joining today.
You can call me or call Bill McVey.
I brought the application.
Oh, you
just-
did?
You
just
got
in
the
case.
application.
Yeah,
There we go.
Fantastic. Thanks,
Sign them
Bill.
up. Sign them up. That's
today.
great.
I have it here.
They're as bad as us
somewhere.
with the
Okay.
tour. With the tour
There it
on
is.
There you go.
Okay,
Make
Bill,
a copy
thank you.
of that and give Charlie
I know Tom's always recruiting, so I wanted to be prepared.
That's great. And
Yeah.
your first vice president,
Wow.
Dave Kephart?
Yes.
Dave Keppert, yeah.
No, that's the father's
Derek.
Dave.
Well, no,
Derek.
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 Forgive me. I'm thinking of his dad
Yeah.
because his father and I grew up together in Mayfair.
Okay.
About
Yeah,
that.
what a great guy. He was in charge of physical training, I remember, at the police academy and many other assignments.
Okay.
But his he resembles very much his father.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much. But what a great guy. Dave, I don't know too much about Derek.
Right.
But,
Derek's a chief inspector now. I believe
yes,
he's
in
assigned
Philadelphia.
to internal investigations,
Okay.
internal affairs, and he's first vice president, so he'll take over for me next year.
Okay.
I followed in Pat Malloy, chief
Yes.
from Abington, who
Okay.
did a great job for the association, and there's a long line of past presidents, Tom being one of them.
Yes.
That really is nice to see that chain and that leadership being passed down and people still remaining active. What I like about this association that differs from some of the other associations is the level of commitment from retirees. And I think that's so important for executives in law enforcement because Tom, Jack Maxwell, Mike Cochran, other retirees, former chiefs, they have a wealth of knowledge, and they have no stake in a game per se where
Sure.
they're at, but they can help you.
Of course.
They face a lot of these situations. So having the retirees active, to me, is invaluable. That you can pick the phone up, pick their brain.
My God, they're right there.
They're right there, and they can usually walk you through it, brainstorming something. So I like that about this association, and
Yes.
it shows that we still grow. We bring new people in, but having the guards, the older heads there,
Sure, yeah.
the wisdom from them is invaluable, and I always like to point that out. That's something that a lot of other associations don't really bring to the table.
Good point, Bill. I call it a reserve of knowledge.
Yes.
I was talking to Jack. He's my cousin. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I did not.
Yeah, on my mother's side of the family. In fact, my mother and Jack are first cousins. We're second cousins.
Okay.
And I always tell him, I said, you're the one with the brains in the family. Moved right up the line. His father was a detective.
Okay.
Joe Maxwell.
Joe Maxwell, yeah.
Yeah, but my mother, Jack's father, was my mother's godfather.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the correlation there. But great guy.
Yeah, and it's at the association itself. Like Tom mentioned, our meetings, as you'll be at next month to
Yes.
promote the safety product.
We will be there. Yes,
And
myself and Joe.
And that's part of our mission is bringing in types of technologies, guest speakers, really to just build the collaboration across the region. We had Commissioner Bethel 2 meetings ago speaking about his vision in the partnerships. We'll be bringing in the supervisory agent in charge of the Philadelphia office, FBI,
Right.
Wayne Jacobs, in
Wow.
May.
Wow, that's
so
great.
We try to bring in key leaders in the region that we can connect to, and
Yes.
it gives you the ability to know a face, get a number, be able
Yes.
to connect, because it's so important that across jurisdictional lines that we're connected. Because the problems in Philly are our problems, and the problems in Bensalem are the problems in Buckingham sometimes. So
Yes.
we all need to be able to interoperate and collaborate. So that's one of the main missions that we really focus on as the Southeast Chiefs.
And
I'm
one-
honored and humbled to be part of the, one of the guest speakers. It's
We
phenomenal.
appreciate, and I will say, Team Toyota has always been a supporter.
Thank you.
Through the connection with Mr. Durkin, and we appreciate what you do for us
Yes.
on a yearly basis, really. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. It'll always be there. You know that, Bill.
Yeah,
Thank you.
they're great supporters for our golf outing, so we appreciate that. One of the benefits that I always try to get to these younger fellows that are in the different departments is come join, because you're going to be rubbing shoulders with guys like Bill McVey.
That's right.
And just being there and having a conversation and having face-to-face, if they never need anything, and they can call up, and then Bill will say, oh, yeah, you were at the meeting, yeah. So there's a connection there, and it's invaluable for our young officers to have that. So that's one of the benefits, besides, the speakers we bring in, our golf outing, our annual assembly. So there's a lot of benefits that we have for Police Chiefs Association.
Another point, Tom, is, and it's important for any young leader or executive or command officer, being part of the Southeast Chiefs, this region, gives you the ability to go on to the State Association of Chiefs of Police.
Wow.
Many of us from the Southeast are represented there on that board. Dave Splain was past president for the state. Pat Malloy will be represented in 2 years.
That's great.
Represent the Southeast region for the whole state of Pennsylvania.
Wow, that's a big influence there.
It is.
That's
We
great.
have Jim Sabbath, Rich Fico. So it's important to be represented there. And then if you wanted to go on to the IACP or the accreditation board, it's the Southeast Chiefs Executive Board that nominates you for these positions.
You have to
that's
be.
great.
The way it works is Pennsylvania is the state chiefs. We are an umbrella underneath them in the 5 county areas, and then beneath that, you have Delaware, Chester, Bucks, and Montgomery chiefs are below that. But if you want to go through the chairs, you have to be nominated by one of those Chiefs Association to be in Southeast Board. And then if you want to go to the state board, you have to be nominated by Southeast Chiefs. And that is kind of a bridge to get further if you want to go to the International Association of Chiefs of Police, and which is, the international. It's all over the world. So it's a nice confederacy
I'll
we
say.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice line of communication.
Right, definitely.
And when Bill, as you pointed out, the reserve of knowledge that you can pick up from all of these leaders, it creates that synergy.
Yes,
You know?
and that's how many programs that we bring in our township, we see another township implement, and vice versa. They'll try programs that we have done, or we collaborate together and unite and do like a multi-jurisdictional project.
Sure. You're listening to Director of Services and Public Safety in Bensalem, Bill McVey, Tom Durkin here, retired Deputy Chief Joe Gall, who's with Public Safety Alert, Safety Blue Alert, and Charlie, who's
I'm awake.
you better not fall asleep on me, buddy. But Charlie over here, my co-host, who's the president of the Retired Police, Fire, and Correctional Officers. We're going to take a quick pause. We're going to do a couple commercials real fast, Bree, and we'll return after a few moments.
It's a new year at Team Toyota, and we're still here for you. With new Toyota models arriving weekly with no markups above MSRP. And with selection. With over 200 certified Toyotas and used cars for every budget. You can drive one home today. And with service. Check out our seasonal specials that will save you time and money. So Happy New Year. We're always here for you. At one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills. Or at teamtoyota.net.
WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
Are you a parrot head? Not that kind. That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny-O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video streamed live the fourth Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Hi, I'm Bill McVey, Director of Public Safety for the Bensalem Township Police Department here in Bucks County. I'd like to thank Tom Mellon for the Heroes program he designed here at Team Toyota Langhorne. For 15 years, Tom has assisted more than 3,000 of our police, fire, military, and medical professionals with their vehicle needs. Tom's Heroes program contributed to our Survivors and Widows Funds along with many other charitable causes here in Bucks County. Here is your benefit. Tom discounts all new and used vehicles to save you money. Please call Tom Mellon anytime, 215-768-6505, and please stay safe.
Hi, I'm Deputy Chief Tom Durkin from the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office with a message that will help you save money with your next purchase of your new or used vehicle. The Heroes program is a service designed by one of our own, retired police officer Tom Mellon, who has helped more than 3,000 of our first responders with their vehicles. Tom's Heroes program contributes to our Survivors and Widows Funds, along with many other charitable causes here in Bucks County. Here is your benefit. Tom discounts all new and used vehicles to save you money. Please call Tom Mellon anytime, 215-768-6505. Please stay safe.
Welcome back to Let's Go Places here in Bensalem. I'm saying Bensalem. Here in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. Not reading those cue cards too well, am I, Charlie? Calling us Bensalem.
I know.
But no,
We'll make them a little bit wider.
We'll make them wider for you.
you.
But thanks for listening in, and we have a lot more in detail to cover with you. We're going to get right back to our former Deputy Chief of the District Attorney's Office in Philadelphia, Tommy Durkin.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. One of the things that I want to mention that Bill McVey had alluded to was the cooperation that we're getting now with the new police commissioner. He seems to be trying to do a good job. I hope he can succeed. You know, they're talking the mayor talking about cleaning up Kensington. I seen some shots of that last night.
Is it looking better?
No, well, they haven't really started. They're
Okay.
just putting a program in place, but it needs a lot of work. And there's so many drugs being pushed
horrible.
down in that area. It's sad because when I went to school, North Catholic, I mean, a lot of the fellows that I went to high school with were from Kensington and Allegheny
And Lehigh
and
Avenue.
Lehigh Avenue, all around there. You can't go down there anymore unless you have a gun in your holster. I mean, it's a shame. I think they're going to try and clean that up, and I hope they succeed. I mean, it's going to take a lot of money, and maybe federal money is needed. I don't know, but the counties around them are supporting the new commissioner, and anything that we can do to help, I'm sure we're going to pursue.
Well, you know, you mentioned money. I listened to the present mayor now, the new mayor, Mayor Chappelle, and she has indicated that her budget, presented the budget, $2 billion, Bill, and $600 million of that is geared towards public safety and police officers.
Yeah, I can't state it enough, and what Tom just said, that it's a breath of fresh air to hear Sherelle Parker speak about crime, to speak about addressing it,
Yes.
Not ignoring it, and empowering the police officer to be a police officer.
Yes.
And Commissioner Bethel has done an outstanding job thus far relaying that message to let the troops know that they're supported. And you could see it in that they had a tragic incident at one of the local shops with the skill games, where the cops came in and they were checking people for guns.
Yeah.
A police officer ended up getting shot, I believe, and it was a really critical incident. But when he was questioned as to why they were there, his response was, "I want them there."
Sure.
Because it's a very deadly intersection of gunfire. So
Yes.
to have the commissioner come out and defend them and actually say, "I'm leading them to do this," total change.
Breath of fresh air.
Yeah, total change, and we're here to help however we can, and we believe that they're going to do a good job down there, and it's a monumental task to have to. It's going to take some time, but they're definitely saying and doing the right things and making the right steps to improve the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah. You're right, Tommy. Everything you're saying and what Bill is supporting.
Crime just doesn't stay in Philadelphia. It has a way of bleeding out into the suburbs, and all of the chiefs, especially the chiefs around Philadelphia, feel it. You know, Abington, Cheltenham, Bill and Bensalem up here. It's always a bleed through that happens, and when it does, the suburban police departments have to deal with it. So the better it gets in Philadelphia, the better it's going to get up here. There's no doubt about it. And I think the commissioner, we had some conversation with him, and me and Bill, about even forming a committee that we would meet once in a while just to discuss items that would affect all of us collectively. And he was very receptive to it, so we're going to pursue that with him too as the days come on.
That's important. It really is.
Yeah.
Charlie, I know you indicated that this new mayor and in concert with our new president, Lenny Roosevelt Poplar.
Yeah.
That's his nickname, Lenny. Great guy, and the direction he's providing. There's a big election coming up in a few months for the new president.
It's a little while, but
it's a little while,
yeah.
right? But I know he's in concert working with the new police commissioner.
Very close.
They're very close. And that's important.
It's extremely important to have a good working relationship with the head of the PBA or the FOP.
Yeah.
And it's not hostile.
And that's
when they have a meeting, like John McNesby, great guy, he had almost a hostile feeling every time they had a meeting with the
past mayor.
Okay.
The past.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah, you got to be able to work through that because we're all here for the same reasons. The FOP and your PBAs, they're trying to protect the rights of the police officers and benefits, and that's ultimately what we want to do as well.
Absolutely.
They work for us. And
yeah.
we want to make sure they're safe. They go home at night. But one thing I wanted to touch before we end here, Tom, is the recruitment factor
that
we're seeing, and it's across the state, it's across the country. Post-COVID, post-civil unrest, we've seen a significant dip in our applicant pools. People are scared to become police officers.
Yes.
They don't want to be a police officer because they're seeing what's happened to some police officers doing their job. They get fired, they get locked up, and sometimes unjustly. And you're under a microscope now. But I think this change in Philadelphia, we're hoping to see the pendulum go back a little bit. I know they're at low numbers right now of staffing, which is hurting them. So hopefully the recruitment efforts will continue there. I was recently working with the state FOP president, Joe Reagan, on an initiative through the Attorney General's office of recruiting. Why did you become a police officer? Try and express your story to really touch some young people to get them interested to become a police officer. So we've seen a real lack of recruitment and people applying in the last 3 to 5 years. We're hoping to see that go the other way.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
We need younger officers. We need them. And that public support, the elected officials supporting police, will encourage more people to become police. When you have elected officials saying defund the police, come on. Who's going to want to be a police officer when the people that lead you are saying defund you?
Defunding, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
they're the same ones when something happens out in front of their house, they call the police.
Right.
But if something else happens, they're against the police. So it's a real quandary about how some of these people think about not having the police. As they said, they're the thin blue line. We're it.
Is that true? We should be looking at more of a refund the police department instead of defunding.
Agree. Great words to use. Yes.
It's the truth.
It is.
It really is. Well, Tom, we're drawing near that end. We got like 2 or 3 minutes left. Some closing comments.
I would just like to say thank you for having us, Tom.
Will you come back, Bill?
Sure, certainly. Only if Tom's with me, but no.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll come back. I'll be glad to.
We're a good tag team, but no,
Absolutely.
really, you've supported us. You support the Bucks County Chiefs of Police. You support the Southeast Region Chiefs. So we thank you, and anytime we can spread our word and our mission as an opportunity, especially our police, to support and show what they do out there, is great, and I thank you for highlighting some of these things and letting us get the word out.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Now, that will continue any way that I can help and get the word out to the people that I meet and come across to create and continue to create that positive factor.
Well, thank you very much for
that. And the importance of first responders and their efforts. When people are running away from danger, they're running towards the danger, and that's what people really have to focus on. You as our listeners. You really have to focus on that. When there's danger, who do you call? Not the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It's the police or the fire, right, Tommy?
Yeah, that's so true, Tommy. I just want to thank you for having us. It's been great. Hopefully you'll have us again.
Oh, absolutely.
And I would remind your listeners to keep us in mind for October golf outing.
Well,
we're always looking for golf. Yeah, and
we'll mention that further down the road.
We're definitely going to be doing that.
Will you, Charlie?
We'll get some sponsors for you and everything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Cold sponsors.
Thank you.
The quicker we get the sponsors, the better off. So
Yeah.
if we,
Yeah, I know. So you know what
we got. Yeah.
That's right.
Thank
And
you.
Joe Gall, thanks for coming in. As some passing words here before we.
Appreciate that, Tom. Just what Tom was referring to, Kensington was featured on national news that how serious the situation is.
It is. It's incredible.
Yeah. And then with Bill with the closing remarks, if this product, Safety Blue Alert, we can get this going, it'll be more safety for the officers.
Yes.
And maybe
saving lives.
Saving lives and keeping them.
We will be getting that
keeping
out
them
there.
safe,
No question. As quick as we can do it, so it'll transcend for more security.
Absolutely. So our website.
What's that? Joe's one of our speakers.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be at the April 11th.
April
11th.
Yep.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
BMP caterers.
Okay.
Joe, you're going to be the main speaker.
That's right.
I'm going to be
That's
the
great.
main
Well,
I'll be the tag team.
we'll work on our verbiage. Yeah. But Safety Blue Alert, if anybody would like to donate to it and help our police protection, we're almost in production with this product. www.safetybluealert.com. Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Joe. Thank you for listening. With Let's Go Places, we always have and look for the most notable speakers, which we have today, and they've already promised that they will come back so that we can cover more current events in Bensalem and the surrounding townships in Bucks County, as well as our contiguous areas such as Philadelphia. Until next time, Jerry, I'm coming home to walk the dog, so just don't go anywhere. Be safe. Stay well. Charlie, as we always say, don't text while you drive. And what else?
God bless America.
God bless America.